A questo punto inizia la trasmissione. Tutti i partecipanti sono in grado solo di ascoltare.
Good morning. Good morning, dear friends. Especially good morning to the people who are testing their idea in the challenge. Thank you so much also for the sponsor, of course, the European Investment Bank. Today we have the pleasure to have Carmelo Cocuzza directly involved, and Enel Green Power will be later giving concluding remark by President Salvatore Bernabei. It's an important day today because the idea of this challenge that we invented 3 years ago, it's really a winning one because not only teaching from our side or your side, but also extracting the best innovation, the best startup from Africa continent as a great value for us in the foundation. Because innovation, it's the name of the game. The African people, the African youth can leapfrog so many mistakes or so many, let's say, traditional paths are done everywhere else in the world, taking into account the fact that today technology is available, digitalization is available, and then you can really try and be encouraged to follow different roads to success. We really believe that, and we have seen, some of our previous winners have received international awards, and also, frankly, also they got some funding, extensive funding because of the startup that the European Bank is giving to you. So they really proved that the money, the little money they got, was really having a multiplier effect in their business. You know, we believe that youth, African youth, you know, the average age in Africa is such a low in comparison with other continents. And in the middle of this century, there will be 800 million people age in between 15 and 24. So in the exactly the time where they decide their future and they try to identify their professional work. And also many of those jobs, particularly in Africa, but also in Italy actually, are dedicated to small and medium enterprise, where you are today. Also, I think that the occasion of the next COP27 in Cairo, the first day in Sharm el Sheikh, the first African COP, will be a good occasion to report. And we are planning together with the bank side event on this COP to report again what we're doing today. So we want to acknowledge out of the many applications. I think we get more than 25 country people in application. We selected U6, which all of you, in our opinion, merit to be a winner. So it's unfortunately it's a matter of next year maybe we can have more fun to give more prize. But all 6 of you to us are a winner in terms of ideas, in terms of courage, in terms of innovation. Therefore, again, I repeat what I said before, we will try to provide the information, dissemination on your job also throughout the next month. So you can be interviewed, you can be invited to take the floor somewhere, you can invite to take in our training course. We really do care about all of you. Now, I want to congratulate, because I read and I will be listening to your presentation for your 6 finalists. I acknowledge with Marta that they are innovative ideas, different one. So we are glad to take on board a different point of view, all, however, determined by the young age of the proposal and the potential follow-up consequence of your idea. So we really wish you success in being there. You know that the bank will provide, and I thank Carmelo for this one, with the 3, at the moment, 3 single prize. Each one is €5,000, which is not trivial, but it's again a startup money that will allow some of you to go ahead and to be as a multiplying effect. But also the other 3 will be under our umbrella. We are going to promote your ideas just because I think they are worthwhile. So again, my warmest congratulations, and I want to give the floor now to Ms. Salma Musted, who is the young renewable activist and ambassador of the UN SDG 7 from Morocco, and the business development engineer at Sharaf the Energy in Dubai. Salma, the floor is yours, and thank you for accepting to be our moderator. To all of you, good luck.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roberto, for this really heartwarming introduction and opening session. Mr. Roberto Vigotti, Rest for Africa Secretary General, gathers more than 30 stakeholders to accelerate the renewable energy transformation in Africa, with Africa, and for Africa. A big part of his life dedicated to renewable energy solutions. Within his long career, he has covered various positions at Enel University of Pisa, IEA, and IRENA. So without further ado, I introduce Mr. Carmelo Cocuza, who is the head of advisory and blending at the European Investment Bank. He will highlight the interest of EIB in youth empowerment and in promoting young African entrepreneurial talents. Thank you, Mr. Cocuza, for being here with us.
Thank you very much, Roberto, for the introductory remarks, and thank you, Salma, for introducing me. I'm very glad to be here. I really wish to thank Rest for Africa for inviting, once again, the EIB since last year to be part of this Young Talent of the Year challenge, and particularly for giving us the opportunity to be one of the judges of this competition and sponsors as well of the awards, as you mentioned. Well, it's really good because it allows us to contribute towards a recognition of some of the most innovative ideas that some of the smartest and climate-savvy youth are making across Africa. This really makes a difference not only within their communities, but also as active protagonists towards global climate action. And the reason is that we actually applaud such entrepreneurial approaches to fight climate change by youth, because the EIB, the European Investment Bank, as you may know, it's a multilateral financial institution which has been known mostly for its financing in Europe. 80% of our lending, in fact, does go to European countries, but 20% does go to developing and emerging markets, and particularly in Africa, where we've been present since 1963, where we've embarked on this strategic journey now that intends to make climate change mitigation our #1 priority. And in terms of our support to the African states, I mean, essentially we've been funding renewable energy plants, we have been funding water treatment plants, and supporting the telecommunication and digitalization across the backbone across sub-Saharan Africa. And the idea is to start implementing this also across a wider range of countries in emerging markets. And in terms of our climate action, what has been happening is that already since November 2019, our board had decided to make a commitment to increase the share of our lending to support the climate-related investments. So we tended to lend to about 35% for climate-related financing, and now we are going to increase it to 50%. So the aim is to target exclusively climate-related investments in line with the political ambition behind the Paris Agreement and the European Green Deal. So this increased ambition has effectively transformed the European Investment Bank into the EU Climate Bank. And this is what we are branding ourselves as. So what does this entail? It entails that the European Investment Bank will now work even harder at developing and supporting climate mitigation and climate adaptation investments across Africa, with the aim of reaching the 50% targeted share of our operation by 2025 and beyond. For example, if Roberto was just talking about the COP26, which took place last year, we launched then the new EIB adaptation plan and the EIB group Paris alignment for counterparties framework. But the EIB will not succeed in tackling the climate crisis when it invests in Europe alone, as more than 90% of the global CO2 emissions are actually happening outside of Europe. So as such, our climate action and commitment worldwide includes a big push to support adaptation projects and finance for clean energy with technological innovation. This means that we really need to step up our support to developing emerging economies for their green transitions. And the strategy on how our bank intends to deliver on these ambitions is outlined in what we call a climate bank roadmap, which identifies key focal areas for EIB finance. Amongst these are innovative green technologies, some of which we will be discussing during this challenge, and will focus on reducing carbon emissions. So some of these can be brought from the pilot phase and can be scaled up to ensure sustainability and even replicability, so that more and more countries can adopt such new technologies and improve their own green footprint. And it starts with brilliant, bright ideas, such as the ones of those presented at the Young Talent of the Year Challenge, where we welcome these brilliant young innovators showcasing their exemplary contribution to promote the use of clean energy solutions, which could trigger the development of new prototypes that could substantially enhance the quality of our lives in the years to come. I recall, for example, the 3 finalists which we awarded last year. There was a company from Nigeria called Cold Storage, which was awarded for building and distributing cold chain logistics infrastructure powered by solar energy, and thereby creating digital platform to shorten the supply chain that can easily reach consumer markets. We also awarded TriKeys. TriKeys is a Kenyan startup which strengthened the design and production of its light electric tricycles equipped with PV module and a board data management system, having capacity to carry up to 250 kg of payload over a 50 to 60 kilometer range on a single battery charge. And the other one was a Lisi trolley of Zuhura Solutions, also in Kenya, which designs and manufactures Lisi trolleys powered by solar PV cells again for heating food and powering lights, with the aim that they have of revolutionizing the street food sector across Kenya. So these were selected on the basis of 3 very important criteria, which we find fundamental. On the one hand, entrepreneurship, where the proposals that create innovation through startup and entrepreneurial initiatives, particularly in the renewable energy sector. The renewable energy solutions that they propose would create groundbreaking ideas or prototypes in renewable energy. Also for advocacy, for initiatives that are contributed to raise the public interest of clean energy access, production, and awareness. And of course, women empowerment, proposals that contribute to the empowerment of girls and women and their involvement in the renewable energy sector. I think, and some of you already know, the EIB is very keen to promote gender equality across all continents, and really do encourage more and more women innovators and entrepreneurs to rise up and play a key role in this decisive fight against climate change. And finally was the climate change proposals themselves, which should contribute towards climate change awareness and action, with a focus on reducing carbon emissions, waste, and deforestation, particularly in the rural areas. So I wish to therefore congratulate the 6 finalists who have made it up to this level, who are with us today, for them for being such drivers of change in their respective countries, from bringing testimony to other like-minded innovators. The fact that we want to award such entrepreneurs empowers them to take up the challenge of scaling up or growing up their enterprises, which will ultimately impact not only on local value chains, but also support the creation of local jobs and of domestic initiatives that can therefore contribute towards a more resilient and sustainable economy. So the European Investment Bank is glad to support these endeavors through their sponsorship. I would now like to conclude by congratulating today's finalists for having made it this far. The fact that you're already here today is already an indication that your ideas have been noticed, and I really look forward to your presentations. And a big thank you to the organizers of this Young Talent of the Year event, the teams led by Salvatore Bernabei of Enel Green Power and Roberto Vigotti of Rest for Africa, for providing the springboard from which these innovative ideas in renewable energy and energy efficiency can be launched. And I look forward to a close collaboration between our institutions over the next few months, as Roberto Vigotti mentioned, in the run-up of the COP27 that will be held in Egypt in November. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kokoza, and thank you, Mr. Vigotti, for those great remarks to begin this session. So with the support of EIB and EGP, this 3rd edition of the Young Talent of the Year Award is given the opportunity today to 6 finalists and young entrepreneurs to share their innovative project ideas in public. For this, I'm glad to open this competition and invite the first candidate, Mwitwa Mudia Sikamikami from Zambia, to illustrate his project proposal on monitoring and evaluation consultant for the solar repair project. It's to reduce electronic waste and extend the life of lighting solutions. The second project is represented by Divin Kwebataku, representing the Republic of Congo, with his innovation, the Green Box, to store and preserve fresh foods 24/7 and extend their shelf lives from 2 to 21 days. The third participant is Mr. Salah El Sadi with his project Blue Filter, which is a mold of plant seeds placed in water basins for treatment. Chimela Anosiki, representing Nigeria, for a project called Solaris Power Booth to enable rural communities to use electricity. Yvonne Francois from Burkina Faso, representing the Smart Eco Highway, which is about recycling used tires and electronic waste to manufacture piezo-thermoelectric devices. How cool is that? And last but not least, Grace Nanteza, representing Uganda, with the project named Run Automations Limited, using the PayGo model to bridge end-user affordability gap with the technology of IoT to automate electric payments. So the floor is for our first participant. Yes, Mwatiwa Mundia Sikamikami. The floor is yours. And you have 10 minutes.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm dialing in from my phone. Martha will be sharing a pre-recorded presentation to the screen, and then I'll be ready to take on the questions at the session during the Q&A question. Thank you. Lamat, are you there? Hello, can you get me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can start. We can see the presentation. First slide.
Yes, the presentation. I'm dialing into my phone, so I'm unable to see the presentation slides. However, I pre-recorded the presentation that can be shared to your screen now. So Martha should be sharing that shortly.
We can see your presentation, Muitwa, so you can just start ahead, and I will start the chrono for when you start, okay?
Hello, Sama, can you get me? Sama?
Yes, we can hear you. You can start.
I'm dialing in from my phone, so
We
I'm
can
unable
see your
to.
presentation. We can see your presentation. You can start.
Okay, so my presentation is on monitoring and evaluation for the solar and evaluation project in Zambia. I'll give you a brief introduction on my background. My name is Moitwa Munzia Skamikami, and I'm Zambian, 27 years of age. And my project, it's based on extended life of small solar water products, through which better maintenance and repair for low-income Zambians can be done. As Group of Engineering, a small startup enterprise that I began in 2018 right here in Zambia, we plan to increase the off-grid system sustainability for solar lanterns, as well as solar home systems, through which development for an enabling plan can be done. This benefits not only our customers, as well as the leading solar people product distributors and the wider community as a whole, by reducing electronic waste, as well as extending the life of small solar people products. Through People Patient Engineering, an enterprise I founded with a group of my friends. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see our core competences, as well as our administrative competences. And for this particular project, we shine a light on SDG number 7, which is affordable and clean energy. So we can go over to the next slide. We can go over to the next slide. Yes, so our background of the project, as of 2020, there was an estimated 200 million ODS products that were sold globally. At an estimated 1 million solar products sold in Central and Southern Africa, as reported by Gogla in 2020. The product lifespan of these products was estimated at around 3 years for PSPs and 5 years for solar home systems. So our project looks at sustaining e-waste of the environment. As such, sustainable management of e-waste is an emerging priority for our country and the communities that we hope to be working in. That is Lusaka and Central Province of Gambia. So the startup enterprise operates in line with the existing national strategies of operating and integrating sustainable development goals. So we look at SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 5, gender equality, as well as SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and SDG 9, which is industry innovation and structure, SDG 13, climate action, and SDG 14, life without water, and SDG 17, partnerships to achieve the goal. And for this particular project, like we said, we shine a light on SDG number 7, where we also operate as people engineers, providing reliable and affordable products and services to design, operation, and maintenance of solar home. And as you can see in the picture there, there's a picture of a young man holding a Camino battery that was disposed of. So as we recapture and recycle such batteries, we start to face key challenges in the environment. Among them, waste collection, battery diversity, as well as multiplier effects. These challenges remain nascent across the country, which is the more reason that we hope to be undertaking this particular project. So we can go over to the next slide. So the challenges that we hope to face are shown in this particular slide. However, to be able to overcome these challenges, we'll undertake two methods, that's qualitative and quantitative methods, to improve survey design as well as identify social and institutional impacts that will be needed to quantify and uncover anticipated processes and outcomes during this particular project. The mixed method approach for this project is very necessary because whether or not the objectives are met or not works only on how efficient resources and knowledge is transferred from us, the monitoring and evaluation officers, to the communities that we'll be working in. We'll also look at complex economic and social dynamics in the households, communities that we'll be visiting, as well as institutions such as schools, hospitals, and how these communities respond to these institutional dynamics in the community where they live. Through this particular project, we'll also look at uniform measures of project outputs as well as impacts. For example, the number of farmers trained, and school enrollment for children, and the response that they give to renewable energy products, as well as econometric analysis for further enabled inferences of causality as well as relationship between impact and explanatory variables. So the challenges that we hope to face during this particular project are distribution and maintenance repair as well. Among them, we'll look at replacement and spare parts in the communities, repair in the informal sector, as well as affiliate and non-affiliate products, and location of the customers in the places that we visit. So some communities are in the rural areas, other communities are in the very urban and urban areas. So we pick which communities we're dealing to Saka and Central provinces, and then be able to see how we able to tackle the distribution, maintenance, and repair challenges. Furthermore, we'll look at recycling capacity volumes, in which insufficient funded infrastructure as well as volumes of profitability are the challenges. And then we'll also look at product design, where multiplier effect is the main challenge. So we can go over to the next slide. So over this slide, we look at take back and collection. The take back and collection of the end-of-life products in the communities that we'll be looking at. So the overview, we'll look at risk mitigation. Under risk mitigation, we'll look at health hazards as well as environmental pollution. We'll also look at avoiding circulation of end-of-life products with previous quality repairs, for many repairs in the solar sector. So the products coming from different manufacturers, there's China, there's locally in Africa, there's coming from Europe. So we have to look at which end-of-life products we'll be looking at in terms of repair as well as spare parts. Then we'll also look at improving brand perception for particular brands that we'll be working with, and customer retention, in order for us to be able to retain our customers and have a growing market as the enterprise continues to grow. So we'll go over to the next slide. Go over to the next slide. So on this slide, we look at take back and collection on raising awareness. So I'll start by raising awareness on this particular project through SMS, radio messaging, or with a partner with telecommunications companies here in Zambia, or Zambia, be able to send messages to customers with implementation of solar be able to yes.
Okay, we lost you for a few seconds. Okay, just go ahead. You still have 1 minute. Thank you.
You have 1 minute. Okay, so being able to overcome the challenges, we'll look at quantitative as well as qualitative methods to compensate for the weaknesses that be able to overcome during this. So, slide. Go to the next slide. So here we'll look at take-back collection, incentivization for products that will be collected, the end-of-life products that will be collected in the communities. We'll look at incentivization in order to increase brand perception as well as grow the number of customer reputation for our people that integrated. As an example, we look at incentives that require the customers to give up end-of-life products. They become various production, receive value to end-of-life products as well as solar products such as batteries, light integration. Also look at take-back schemes that are being piloted to the consumer value products, food sector.
Thank you, Muitwa. I think the voice is not very clear now by the end, but your time is up, and thank you for sharing with us your valuable project. Now we will move to our second participant.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Our second participant, Divan from Republic of Congo. You can go ahead, you have 10 minutes. We cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself? Still, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly. Thank you. Okay, you may start.
Okay. Thank you. I'm very blessed to be here today as one of 6 finalists to present our project. My name is Divan Kobatuka from Congo Brazzaville, founder of Greenbox. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Today, I'm going to introduce you my Aunt Pauline, very hardworking small-scale farmer in Congo Brazzaville for more than 30 years. I'm introducing my Aunt Pauline because it reminds me my own story. When I was young, I moved to a village to help her with agriculture activities. The pain of seeing my aunt lose over 50% of her production each harvest, that means that she gets less money, as well as Kasuma don't have access to fresh and nutrition food. She told me that go back to school and bring the solution to the community of this problem. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big problem we are solving in Congo Brazzaville in Africa. When you come across in Congo, you must find this. It is not only happening to Congo, but in the most African countries, which is called post-harvest losses. This problem, the lack of cold storage for perishable food in Africa. According to Rockefeller Foundation, over 200 million farmers in Africa continent lose 660 million meters of perishable food every year. If food loss and waste were a country, it will be a third largest emitter of greenhouse gases. For this big challenge, this is our solution. Next slide, please. Green box, a solar-powered cold a working refrigerator, well designed, that can be stored inside the market for the retailer and inside the farm for the farmers like my Aunt Pauline in the off-green locations. Next slide, please. We have also working to create a market analysis platform for farmers. They will receive unexpected information of their stocked products that will help them to determine where to sell their stocked product. Next slide, please. The using of green box is very simple. We transfer perishable food in the clean plastic plate, and then we put that basket inside the cold room so that we can extend the shelf life of perishable food from 2 days to 21 days. With this, we have completely eliminated those losses and increased small farmers' income. It is local and simple technology for the problem that is complex, but the solution is simple. Next slide, please. According to Rockefeller Foundation, the market of perishable food in Congo-Brazzaville is $200 million. We have over 500,000 small farmers in Congo-Brazzaville. In Africa, the market is $45 billion. We have over 200 million farmers in Africa. Next slide, please. Our business model is very simple. You pay what you store. We charge small farmers a little bit of money, an equivalence of 0.5 US in nice to rent 1 plastic crate. Each green box can contain 150 cases for 27,000 US dollars annual revenue. We sell also green box by the order to the professional, the large farmers, restaurant and supermarket for 35,000 US dollars. Next slide, please. Our business model, you pay what you store, gives us an advantage over competitors. Small farmers who don't have capacity to buy cold room, but now they can use it as a service. They can preserve their stocked products with a little bit of money, reduce losses, and increase their income. The using of solar energy gives us an advantage. We decentralize our cold room and we can install in the off-grid locations and provide the night to the community. Our crop management system gives farmers an advantage. They can determine where and when to sell their stocked products. We have a global and transversal solution for post-harvest problem in the development countries. Next slide, please. Over 2 years of operation, we have been able to preserve over 20,000 metric tons of perishable food from deterioration. Over 500 farmers and retailers have increased their income by using our technology. We have created 60 new jobs for women. Next slide, please. Since the beginning, from now, we have invested our own funds and won some bonds. Our revenue has grown from 25,000 US dollars to over 85,000 US dollars in the last 2 years of operation. Next slide, please. Some international and national organizations support us technically and financially in order to accelerate our growth. We have the government of Congo-Brazzaville, the Ministry of Agriculture, University of Maringouabi, higher biomedical and boom startup in terms of technical partnership. We have also World Economic Forum and Land Accelerator who support us in financially. Next slide, please. We have a team of leader, engineer, change maker with expertise in solar energy, sustainability, accounting, database, and Code Home Technology. I'm Jivan Kwabatuka, CEO of Greenbox. I'm the social entrepreneur, polytechnic engineer with strong expertise in cold supply chain and renewable energy. We have Marvel Magungu, who is technical director with electrical engineer and air conditioning engineer with strong expertise in cold home technology. We have Gracia Chibinda, senior accounting, and Ray Osvaldo Makuma, who is data scientist with strong expertise in digital communication. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, after launch and test 2 models of Greenbox and validate our business model together with small farmers, now we have able to launch 10 new Greenbox. That's why we came to you. We need your help, your partnership, technical assistance and financial assistance, $250,000 to launch 10 new Greenbox. We'll use that money to buy the solar panels, cold panels, battery, and a little bit of money to finalize our crop management system and to and for operations. Next slide, please. We will focus on the Congo Brazzaville market with 12 Greenbox for over 500,000 small farmers. And then we'll go to Cameroon with 200 Greenbox for over 3 million farmers. And then we'll go to Jersey with 500 Greenbox for over 6 million small farmers. Next slide, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa has over 60% of the world's available land. Africa can actually feed the world. In the post-COVID and the world food crisis at the time, and the name to remember is Greenbox, the company that helps small farmers in Africa to reduce their losses and increase their income. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jivan, for this presentation. I thank you, I thank your aunt and also your team. Thanks to you, we will never be hungry and we'll have fresh foods always. So we go to our third participant, Salah Saadi, for his Blue Filter Agriculture Water Filter project. Thank you. Yes, you shall start. Yes, you have 5 minutes from now.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about my project. I'm happy to be finalist. Project Blue Filter. Next slide. Okay, what made it like this? We can look about this photo, strawberry this damaged. What make this strawberry damaged? Next slide. Now we can talk about the reasons. We can say that the red color, more than 97% of water polluted by contaminant. And we can say the map, this contaminant spreading from this developed country, case study Palestine. Next slide. This is map globally, shows that the size of a problem globally with red color circulated at a whole world. Next slide. The name of this problem, nitrate attack in water. As we know, the international standard of nitrate in water not exceed 10 milligram per liter, but in case study Palestine, we can see the concentration of nitrate more than 1,000 milligram per liter, and in the world and some regions of Africa reach between 500 to 1,500 milligram per liter. Next slide. What is causing this problem? High concentration of nitrate. This problem will cause the following: high cost for farmer to find the clean water for irrigation, high cost for nitrate pollution treatment in water, water pollution with high levels of nitrate, plant disease and human disease by high concentration of nitrate, desertification of greenlands, poverty, extinction of agricultural profession due to water pollution and scarcity. Next slide. The solutions, Blue Filter is a unique biofilter, consists of treated plant seeds. Blue Filter purify water from nitrate and other contaminants like chloride without any using of chemicals, additives, or energy, with removal efficiency more than 98%. Blue Filter is a mold, plastic, or metals filled with these plant seeds and treated with the green technology, then soaking in any type of basin to treat water directly. Blue Filter easy to install up and set up. Next slide. Blue Filter molds like filter tubes and perforated bulb. Next slide. Next. Okay, these plant seeds will collect it and treat it and put it in, placed into filter tubes or perforated bulbs. Next slide. We can use perforated bulbs and filter tubes directly with this final version of our product. This system consists of 3 basins. The first basin to collect polluted water. Second basin, intermediate stage. During this stage, we can produce fertilizer and feedstocks. The third basin to remove nitrate with percent more than 98%. Next slide. This system, please go previous slide. This system is connected with the Blue Filter mobile application. This mobile application to follow-up system after and before water treatment to aware farmers and any people about all data related to water treatment. This mobile application to control system and fix any problems. Next slide. This system implemented and tested with 20 farmers as a piloting stage. We can say 3 photos for our working with farmers. Next slide. This is another photos about execution of system with by farmers. Next slide. We have a certificate of efficiency from Emirati Grade Green Buildings Award to the best project, and a certificate from France about good quality of project, and from that Germany, finally from a local laboratory about the result of quality of water treatment by our system. Next slide. Our competition, we stay in the safe and low cost area because there is no chemicals, there is no electricity in treatment process. Next slide. Our competitive advantages, system cheap, the system treated a large quantity of water, water recovery 100%, there is no any waste during treatment process, 0 waste. Next slide. Value proposition of Blue Filter meets SDG goals 3, 6, 7, 15. Blue Filter will improve farmer financial condition, job opportunity by 70%, increasing the productivity of agricultural crops by 80%, provide clean water for irrigation at affordable price for farmers, promote green culture among farmers, disease reduction among populations and plants. Next slide. Blue Filter will protect membrane in desalination units from damage, provide cheap raw material for water desalination plants, save money and natural resources because the same quantity after and before and after treatment remains the same, save energy by 80%. Next slide. Blue Filter market, our client farmers, agriculture companies, water treatment system, feed and fertilizer companies, government, refugee association. The target markets, Arabian market and world market. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Our market strategy, we have 2 phases. Phase 1, Arabian market, and phase 2, global market. Next slide. Revenue streams for blue filter projects from system sales, treated water sales, fertilizer sales, feedstock subscription to paid services like examination, consultation, training, and etc. Next slide. Revenues, our expected revenue during future 3 years, blue filter products will gain revenue approximately $300 from blue filter products and $100 from blue filter subscription. Not all this revenue will go to blue filter project, but some of this revenue will go to help poorest countries, poorest peoples, save environment, and provide clean water. Next slide. We are seeking to raise $150,000 to cover the phase 1 of Blue Filter project to cover these items, foundation, production cost, operating cost, marketing cost. Next slide. This is my team: Salah Al-Sadi, Master in Water and Environment; Ahmed Al-Sadi, Co-founder, Business Administration and Project Coordinator; Samia Hijazi, Air and Environment Specialist; Tasneem Al-Zayyan, Social and Designer Specialist. Next slide. Drink safe water, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Salah. And we all need to drink safe water, indeed. So after foods and well storing the foods and drinking safe water, we move now to the Solaris power booth with Shemela. And Shemela, you can connect. Yes, moving now to electricity. Thank you. You may start, and you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Sama. Can you hear me? Hello,
Yes,
Sama. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can start. Good luck.
All right. Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. My name is Jemela Anosike. I'm the founder and CEO of Solaris Green Tech Hub Nigeria. Solaris is a renewable energy startup. We design and deploy solar-powered solutions to rural and peri-urban communities. We design micro-powered charging booths and micro-power solutions to rural and peri-urban communities. We are committed to creating green jobs, driving energy inclusion, and making energy accessible and affordable to everyone, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid. Next slide, please. Hello, Saba, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hello,
you.
Saba,
yes, we are on the next slide. Go ahead.
Okay, so according to research, there are 633 million people in Nigeria. That's according to Access to Energy report of 2020. Over 633 million people in Nigeria are not connected to electricity, and they live in rural areas and slums. Now, this issue of energy poverty in Nigeria cut across a lot of other sectors, and it has been a major setback to development in Africa. It cut across development in education, potable and clean water, manufacturing, and every other sector. Now, in Nigeria, the Rural Electrification Agency estimates that nearly 50% of Nigerians, which is about 90 million people, do not have access to electricity. Now, most of the available solutions trying to address this problem are usually expensive to adopt, especially for people who typically live below $1 per day. Now, I'm referring to those at the bottom of the pyramid, especially women and children. Now, the rest of the solutions that are available, the burn fossil fuel, they contribute to global warming. They burn fossil fuel, carbon emission, lead to carbon emission, and contribute to global warming. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide.
Yes, you can go. Yes, you can
go. Okay. So now, according to USAID report, this energy poverty in Nigeria alone. Sorry, the next slide. Next slide. I've talked about this slide. Thank you very much. Okay, so according to the USAID report, energy poverty in Nigeria has created a market size of 1.2 trillion naira, that leaving us with a very huge market size only here in Nigeria. That's according to USADF report of 2020. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, how is Solaris trying to solve the problem? Now, we're looking at the problem of electricity, the problem of making energy available to everyone, and we're looking at how to make this energy available to those at the bottom of the pyramid, those who live below $1 per day. Now, how are we trying to solve this problem? Now, from our research, we discovered that the energy need of most of those people, especially those living at the bottom of the pyramid, are quite basic. Now, first of all, they need energy to charge their mobile devices, especially now that mobile devices have become the main drivers of people's life. We have our mobile phones, our laptops, our power bank, and the rest of them. So most of the from our research, we discovered that most of them need energy to charge their mobile devices. Again, they need energy to light up their home, especially at night, so that they can be able to go about their night chores and so the children can study. And then finally, they need energy to light up their low energy appliances, just like their DC fans, their phones, and the rest of it. Now, how are we solving this problem? Now, we've decided to create solar-powered booths in different communities. Now, this is our response to this problem. We designed and deployed solar-power charging booths in communities. Now, this booth serves as a power station for the community where it is located. Now, community members can come to this booth to access electricity for as low as 1 cent. Now, they come to this booth, they charge their mobile devices at the booth. And they can also rent the Solaris power kits, which they can use in their homes, first of all, to power up their homes, and second of all, to charge their mobile devices. Now, this way, community members can afford electricity without spending money on infrastructure. So we have eliminated the issue of buying or spending money on CapEx, which is spending money on infrastructure, which is usually expensive. So we created a solution so that community members can be able to afford electricity at a very affordable and convenient rate by setting up power stations in these rural communities. Next slide, please. Now, our technology for the Solaris booth, no, the previous slide, sorry. The previous slide. Now, our technology for the Solaris booth is quite simple. The Solaris booth, typical Solaris booth, is made up of the lithium-ion battery power pack, a charge controller with rectified DC output, solar panels, LED bulbs fitted with USB, and detachable kiosks or booth. Next slide, please. All right, our business model. We operate a quite simple business model. We operate a commission-based and franchising business model. Now, for our commission-based business model, we work with booth agents who we deploy to communities in identified locations. Now, these booth agents, they work in these communities, they make use of our booths to service to retail energy to the community members. And they pay an agreed amount of money to Solaris at the end of the month. Also, we use a franchising business model. Now, this franchising business model allows us to co-own our booth with some persons who wants to take these booths to communities, to different localities, and make money from them. And they pay an annual franchising fee to Solaris. Now, with this model, we can easily spread across different communities and even to spread across different communities in Nigeria and across Africa without spending so much money on operating expenses, manufacturing, and other logistics. So we operate quite two models, the commission-based model and the franchising model. For the commission-based model, we work with booth agents who stay in communities and service retail energy to community members. And we also work with franchisees who we co-own the Solaris booth with, and they take it to different communities across Nigeria and also retail energy to community members. Now, for the agents, they pay an agreed amount of money to Solaris on a monthly basis, while for the franchisees, they pay an annual franchising fee to Solaris. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is our use case. This is one of Solaris booths deployed in a community in Nigeria, servicing up to 300 community members, repeat and new customers on daily basis. And this is a trader who uses the Solaris power kit. The Solaris power kit is made up of a power pack and USB bulb fitted with an LED bulb fitted with USB, So this trader is able to do his business at night comfortably by just renting this Solaris power kit. And this is a community member accessing and using energy, accessing electricity through the power station, which is a Solaris power booth in a community. Next slide, please. All right, so our impact. At Solaris, our impact across economic, environmental, social, and the rest of them. First of all, on environmental, we aid in the reduction of carbon emission. Now, one Solaris, because our energy source is new, is clean and is renewable. So we don't burn fossil fuel. We don't burn fossil fuel. It don't lead to, which leads to carbon emission. So we help in reducing the rate of carbon emission and reduce the rate of global warming, contribution to global warming on Earth. Now,
Shemela? Shemela, can you hear me? Your video is stuck. Okay, we'll give 1 more minute to Shemela to come back and finish her presentation. Shemela? I cannot hear you. Okay. Can
you hear me now?
Yes, now it's
okay.
Good. I think you stopped, so maybe you can revert back on the idea you were saying before.
Okay, so I was talking about our impacts, which goes across economic, environmental, and social. So I said, can you still hear me, Sama?
Yes, perfectly. So you still have 1 minute, and yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay, so our impact goes across environmental. I said just one Solaris booth reduces about 88 tons of carbon emission per year. So we help in fighting the release of carbon emission. We help in fighting global warming, and also we help in creating clean energy jobs, especially for women. And also we help in combating energy poverty by making energy available for everyone, especially those at the bottom of the pyramid. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so so far our traction includes creating and deploying Solaris booth to different communities in Nigeria. We emerged as finalists for the USADF, OLON, and NCIC Energy Challenge Award grant, and be able to acquire new and repeat customers in different communities in Nigeria. Next slide, please. Okay, so for our partners, we work with different partners in Nigeria. We work with the Hardware Garage, a startup accelerator company who has helped us with startup growth. We also work with Greenage Technologies because we manufacture our products here in Nigeria. So we work with Greenage Technologies, solar equipment manufacturing company. We also work with Cross Boundary, an international financial organization assigned to us by USADF as a finalist for the USADF Energy Award grant. Next slide, please. All right. So for the 5,000 euro award from the Microgrid Academy, we intend to utilize 50% of it to build 6 units of the Solaris booth and deploy to communities, and we intend to use 10% of it for marketing support and customer acquisition. Now, with this award, if you're able to create 6 units of this booth in year 1, we'll be able to create additional clean energy jobs. We'll be able to reduce 528,000 tons of carbon emission in a year, and we'll be able to service up to 10,800 community members on daily basis. Year 2, we'll be able to replicate this by paying back our profits and creating extra 4 booths. That will make it a total of 10 booths. So by year 2, we'll be able to create at least 15 clean energy jobs. We'll be able to save up to 880,000 tons of carbon emission and be able to service at least up to 18,000 community members daily. We can replicate this for year 3 just with this award grant. Next slide, please. So we have some companies already who are a competition who are already trying to solve this problem. The likes of NTL Lumos in Nigeria, Azuri, Phoenix, Alpha Energy, Olu, and Okra Energy. And also we also have other conventional means of lighting, which include use of lanterns, use of candles, use of power generators that involves burning fossil fuel and contributes to global warming. For these other solutions I mentioned earlier, they adopt a pay-as-you-go solution, which require customers to pay an initial startup fee for clients. Now, our differentiation is that it's because of our zero ownership model for clients, which removes the initial cost of adoption for solar products. And our brands are made in Nigeria, so we are helping to create more jobs here in Nigeria. Next slide, please. So our team, the Solari stream, comprised of young professionals in the field of business and startup development, management, solar design, electronic design, marketing, and so on. So I have myself, the CEO and founder, a business developer. I've worked with GIZ for over 6 years experience in business and startup development. I have Kinsley Okereke, who is the chief technical officer. He's a seasoned engineer and electronics designer for the Nigeria's most local solar inverter. I have Chinechoni Hege, who is the chief operations officer. He's experienced in management and operations, over 10 years experience. Thank you very much.
Please, are you done with the presentation?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your noble purpose of having electricity available for everyone. I mean, that's an amazing project. So now we will hit the road to the highway project with Yvonne, François, and the Smart Eco Highway. Yes, Yvonne.
Hello.
Your camera is off.
So can you see me now?
Not yet. Your camera is on, but it's black. So please turn it on. Try to deactivate it and activate it again.
Is it better?
No, we still cannot see you.
Oh, what is happening? Wow, sorry, I thought I resolved the problem earlier, but I don't understand what is happening now.
Okay, there is no problem. You can go ahead and start presenting, Yvonne.
Oh, okay, great. I will start presenting. So,
yes.
Okay, can I start? Can I start?
Yes, go ahead. You can start, Yvonne.
Okay, so thank you for giving me the floor. Hello, everyone. I'm Yvonne François Torefak from Cameroonian nationality, currently working and living in Burkina Faso. So I'm the promoter of the project Smart Eco Highway. Next slide, please. So the presentation plan of our project will be stated as follows. We will start by presenting the problem identification and then the solution, and we will finish by presenting our business next steps and our business current stages and actionable partners. Next slide, please. So Burkina Faso is a country located in West African region, and which is facing several political, economical, and environmental issues. So according to the latest IEA Africa Energy Outlook report, more than 600 million people are still without access to electricity in Africa. And in Burkina Faso, more than 15 million people, over 21 million people inhabitants, are still without access to electricity in the country. Also, the strong demographic growth in urban areas like Ouagadougou is due to the increased rate of terrorism attacks in the north of the country and recent political coups, which leads to an exponential increase in urban infrastructure needs such as roads and buildings, and hence increase in electricity needs. It is also important for us to notice that Burkina Faso imports more than 35% of fossil fuels every year to produce their electricity, thanks to their thermal power plants, which represent more than 35% of their primary energy power supply sources. And finally, sharp temperature rises in urban areas like Ouagadougou lead to severe urban heat island phenomenon, which is harmful for people's health and for also urban system life cycle, making the country very vulnerable to climate changes. So next slide, please. So it is up on all those issues that with my team, we talked about what could be the most valuable solution. Well, our roads and infrastructures on which we walk and drive every day represent an untapped immense potential of unexploited and wasted energy sources. So imagine in an immediate future that our roads infrastructure will not just serve our mobility needs, but also serve as power station which can produce electricity. This has nothing to do with a US-based fiction movies. It's a reality. So this is the aim of our project Smart Eco Highway, a project which aims to produce electricity thanks to vehicles and individual weights, and simultaneously from heat stored by roadways and highways. So obviously this electricity will be useful for roads lighting systems, for advertising, for powering advertising panels, but most importantly, it can also power neighboring populations which are not all connected to the grid or cannot afford to be connected to the grid. Next slide, please. So, but how does this technology work as well? In more simple words, when a car or a truck is driving on the road pavement, there is those specific material called piezoelectric materials which have the capacities to convert the mechanical stresses from those trucks into electricity. And at the same time, when the sun is rising on the pavement structure and when there is no enough traffic or any traffic, there's those specific material called thermoelectric materials which have the capacity to exploit the temperature differences among the surface layer of a road pavement structure and the base layer of the road pavement structure. So we are working on combining those two materials in order to produce a hybrid model which can be installed at 4 centimeters below the surface layer of a road pavement. Next slide, please. So jumping on into our market size, it is important to notice that the electricity market in Africa was worth almost $180 billion in 2019, and the global energy harvesting system market was valued at almost $500 million in 2020 and is projected to reach almost $1 billion in 2030. But it's important to notice that Ouagadougou itself accounts for more than 14% of the Burkina Faso population, but unfortunately, a significant portion of the population lives below the poverty line, since the country is classified among one of the most poorest countries in the world. So this makes us also identify that not everyone living in Ouagadougou, in the city, can afford or have access to electricity, mostly those population living in peri-urban areas. Next slide, please. So this makes us jump into our business model. So being aware of the fact that our end users are those vulnerable communities who doesn't have access to electricity, in our short-term goal strategy, we will work for the first 2 years with those following target customers made up of public and private universities, hospitals, and airports with large areas highly exposed to sunshine and dense traffic. So according to our forecast revenue model, the investment needed to produce just one slab of our innovation is expected to be $1,300, which makes us propose a purchase price of our slab of almost $300 per slab to our target customers for a payback period of almost 5 years, and which can make us assume that we can be able to have an average annual net profit margin after a 1 year full operation of 66%. Next slide, please. So we have been able to identify also our direct and indirect competitors. And concerning our direct competitors, those who are using quite the same technology or the same innovation, companies like PaveGen or Energy Flow in UK or Sensitized Systems, most of those companies are using just one aspect of our innovation, namely the piezoelectricity aspect. So they are just exploiting the mechanical stress from peoples or vehicles to produce electricity, while we are using two major energy sources, namely mechanical energy and thermal energy, in order to produce a more power output. Next slide, please. So another added value of our project is the environmental impact of our project. So we plan to recover more than 60% of our raw materials from electronic and electrical waste equipment. And we also plan to recycle used tires, which are locally available here in Ouagadougou, which will serve as a protective layer of our device against hard traffic, surface and underground water. Next slide, please. So basically, our project will help to achieve SDG 7, but it will not just achieve SDG 7, it will also achieve other SDGs like SDG 9, SDG 11, and SDG 13, because by recovering heat under our road pavement, we are contributing to provide a co-benefit to our project by cooling down our road infrastructures and thus improve their life cycles. And by recovering waste from electronic equipment and used tires, we are contributing to sustainable cities, and we are also contributing to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Next slide, please. So what are our needs? So our initial seed capital needed to build our prototype was evaluated at almost $5,000. And thanks to some small grants award programs that we managed to win for the last 2 years, we have been able to raise almost $1,300, which make us need an immediate financial funds of almost $3,700. Next slide, please. So we are currently, I'm working with an exciting team made up of Liliane Emerick Chipse, who is a civil engineer with almost 4 years of full professional experience. Bia Paul Kamga, who is a full stack developer with almost 6-year professional experience. He holds a bachelor degree in computer science. And we are also working with Samantha Chinyoka, who recently joined our team because she was very curious about how this project can come into life. And she holds a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering and currently employed as a renewable energy engineer. And finally, I'm the promoter of the project. I have more than 2 years full professional experience in renewable energy, technical sales, and I'm also one of the IRENA student leader cohort graduates. Next slide, please. So currently, we are following an incubation program within one of the best social startup incubator in Burkina Faso, namely La Fabrique, thanks to the European Union funded program A-Green Lab, which aims to support youth entrepreneurship in the agro-food and renewable energy sectors in Senegal and Burkina Faso. Next slide, please. So thanks to others, to several small grants award winnings for the last 2 years, we have been also be able to partner with the International Institute of Ouagadougou, which is helping us to get access to their experimental equipment in order to realize our test. And we have also get a partnership with the Energy and Mine Minister of Burkina Faso, thanks to an award winning that we managed to obtain last year. And currently, we are also working with 2 major mentors thanks to our Green Lab incubation program, namely Asan Sek, who is our technical mentor, and Thierry Lucas, who is our business mentor. Next slide, please. So finally, according to our next steps, so we plan to come out with our prototype by the end of December 2022. And next, we plan to launch a 6-month pilot operation phase by January 2023 to test our prototype and collect feedbacks from our pilot target customers. And next, we plan to raise funds to improve our production capacity to up to 100 slabs per year, starting by December 2023. And next, we plan to raise funds to register our company by September 2023, based on the product demand from target customers. And finally, we plan to reach our long-term goal by 2027 by designing a novel slab for late roads and highways as independent power producer in order to produce electricity at a larger scales and at the same time producing also traffic data for roads, infrastructure government entities. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Yvonne, for your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You have come to the end of the presentation, right? On time.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your piezoelectric project. And now we move to Grace Nanteza from Uganda for her IoT project.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Grace Nanteza from Uganda. I am the co-founder of Run.
Can you please turn on your video, Grace? And Yvonne, you can deactivate your video. Thank you. Okay, great.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Grace Nanteza from Uganda. I am the co-founder of Run Automations Limited. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Microgrid Academy and Recipe for Africa Foundation to be amongst the finalists for this award. Run Automation Limited, we design low-cost Internet of Things devices to enhance affordability for productive use of electricity appliances, enabling low-end customers to acquire these valuable assets using pay-go mode system of payment. Next slide, please. We know that access to electricity is a key driver to socio-economic development and improving livelihoods. I am privileged to be working in rural areas in the northern part of Uganda where access to electricity is still limited, though it is increasing because of different stakeholders who are trying to bring in intervention to increase access to electricity. The photo on my right is a gentleman in a milling machine using diesel. Here in the northern, the access to electricity is still low, so people are still using diesel mill grids. When access to electricity is increased, these machines will be able to run on electricity and people will be able to generate income. That is one example of productive use of activities in rural setting. Others include solar powered irrigation, salons, social institutes like schools. Whereas access to electricity is very important, one of the major factors that is considered in designing these projects is including productive use of electricity, where people are able to use electricity to generate income. But the challenge is 47% of the African population are still poor, living on less than $1.9 per day. Therefore, next slide. Affordability is really a challenge for these people to acquire these productive use appliances, the high upfront costs of these appliances. Most in rural areas, there is limited access to finance. Why? Because microfinancing institutes, asset financing companies find it high risk to invest their money in rural areas where it is so remote. They do not have knowledge on the real-time location of the issued out asset. And also, it is very difficult to predict when to maintain the asset and also remotely monitor the health of the asset. Therefore, next slide, at Run Automations Limited, we have designed a solution that enable microfinancing companies, asset financing company banks to loan out these assets to people who are living on, who are having low income to acquire these assets, and they are able to pay using pay-go system. So this device can remotely, the microfinancing institute can remotely control the assets, locate the device of the asset, and also get some data analytics which can inform them about the usage and the health of the asset. Therefore, we are enabling people with low income in rural settings to acquire this valuable asset, improving their livelihood and creating green jobs. Next slide. So about the product, our product has both hardware and software, and the uniqueness of our hardware is it consists of microcontrollers, sensors, which record data, which is connected to different appliances. It is integratable to any appliance, be it solar water pump, be it fridge, solar systems. It is integratable to any hardware, and the technology is locally designed here. So these hardware monitor and record data, which is sent over the internet using GSM technology to remote monitoring platform. On the next slide, we have a screenshot of how the remote monitoring platform looks like. As for now, this is one of the prototypes we are trying to test. You can see the data analytics. It can measure the power consumption of the appliance. You can know where the device, where the appliance is located. Then you can also remotely switch and turn off the asset. Next slide, please. Why run automations? So for the microfinancing institute, for the asset financing company, when this device is used, it reduces the operational cost of the microfinancing institute because they don't need to run over the customers who default, but they just need to remotely control, switch on and off in case there is a default. Also, maintenance costs of the assets are reduced because of the data which is collected is able to predict whether there is a fault in the asset, and maintenance is done very fast. One of the major value proposition is the affordability of this productive use of appliances, which are very important in the livelihood of people, is increased. Many people earning low income are able to acquire these valuable assets. And we know that in many grid settings where productive use of electricity appliances are required, the energy demand is really very low. People do not use electricity, therefore increasing the cost of electricity. If you compare to the cost of the utility, electricity, and the mini grid, it's a bit high. But if many people are able to acquire these useful assets, then people will be able to consume electricity and also thereby reducing the cost of electricity in these settings and increasing accessibility. Next slide. Our business model currently, we are planning on doing a B2B business model. We want to sell out these devices and the web platform and mini grid companies, web platform, productive use of energy researchers are able to buy this at a cost of 78 euros per device. But as we scale, we are also planning on another model, remote monitoring as a service, but this requires huge investment. That's why we are here to look for more funds. Next slide. The market is really huge. We are looking at solar companies. Over 500 solar businesses are coming up, and all these integrate productive use of electricity. Very many mini grid developers, over 300 mini grid developers are to be connected according to the African Mini Grid Development Association. We are also targeting the Microfinancing Institute, productive use of electricity researchers who would use the data which is collected to inform more about climate action and many other uses. Next slide, please. What are our achievements so far? So far, we have designed prototypes. The picture above is 2 of our prototypes. We have designed our hardware. Then we are currently reaching out to customers to run tests on these prototypes. We have tested on our appliances at our home. That's why we have some of the data in our web platform. We have tested on our fridges, on our TV, but we want to see how we are reaching out to different people to allow us to test on other productive use of energy appliances. Our web platform can remotely switch on and off of the appliance. It can detect the location and also record some data analytics. Run Automations is also fully registered, and we are looking forward to scale. Next slide. Next slide. Why do we need the 50K euros? Most of the money, the 5,000 euros, we need it in research and development. We need to reduce the hardware part. We need to reduce on the size of the device. Last week, we reached out to a customer who wanted to integrate in the solar street lights, but unfortunately, the size was still big, so we need to invest more in reducing the size of the device. We are using low-cost sensors to measure the data, so we need to also invest in high quality sensors to improve on the accuracy. Currently, we are sourcing the materials we are using to design here locally, which is a bit expensive. It makes the cost of production high, and also we need to invest more in electrical lab tools. On the side of the software, we need to invest more in user experience, such that our platform is easily used by our customers. Then we know that we are using data. Data is very important, and we need to invest more in data protection. We need also to develop more features on our platform, because right now we need to develop the know your customer. Customers are able to access the customers of the data of their clients, and also to ensure that our platform is scalable to many customers. Run automation, we intend to install 20,000 devices on different appliances by 2025, and currently we are working from our homes. We do not have an office. We have not officially launched our company, but so some of this money will be able to get an office space and acquire a lab space, and also more personnel on our team. Next slide. And all these prototypes and the software and everything wouldn't have been possible if I did have an amazing team here. Charles Konwa is a co-founder, and is the hardware engineer on the team. He designs the hardware of the device and the solution. Then Joel is a software engineer. He's responsible for the web platform and the software component. I myself am responsible for the business development, and also ensure that the ideas we have of reaching out to many people, acquiring these assets, and also data which inform about climate change, different sensors for different appliances, because our device is integratable to any appliance. It can be customized to any appliance, and ensure that all this data is captured when developing the product. Next slide, please. I would like to thank the funders who have enabled this competition happen. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you very much, Grace. Thank you, and as an SDG7 ambassador, I can feel that SDG7 and more SDGs are involved in all the projects, starting with Matiwa, Divin, Salah, Shimela, Grace, and Yvonne. Amazing projects. So from food storage to water treatment to recycling and energy booths, wanting to have energy booths everywhere and giving solar energy available for many people in many rural places or any place that needs electricity, piezoelectricity and IoT. I can feel the smartness of the projects and the collective intelligence, and I thank all the participants for this. This is amazing to be part of this session and to hear all your amazing projects. So now I can proudly announce the evaluation committee. So let me introduce the Enel Green Power, the Ms. Sulan Qadri, Head of Sustainability Africa, Asia and Oceania from Enel Group, and Mr. Carmelo Cocuza, the Head of Advisory and Blending European Investment Bank, who will give their feedback and their questions to the participants. Thank you.
Hello to everybody. So thanks for having invited me to this fantastic session. If I don't know if I have to start commenting some of these projects. First of all, I would like to say that I'm very impressed because all these initiatives that have been presented are very, I would say, responsive to urgent and current issues and needs that the continent is facing, such as, I would say, also other geographies in our world. Maybe I can start commenting the consultant for solar repair projects. Sorry, I've taken some notes because you described many details. So I think that that project It's very plain and straightforward. Unfortunately, there were some connection issues during the speech from the participant, but in any case, I've been able to get the value. I believe that it's very interesting because it's able, the project, to respond to one of the main challenges we have when we speak about rural electrification, that is the inadequate maintenance, mainly caused, I would say, by the lack of the local community involvement, but also by the lack of technical skills. So I think that we all know that aside from the quantity of investment we can have in terms of innovations and technologies, if there are not then the right skills to exploit these resources, at the end of the day, the final results will be very limited. So this is why I really like this project, because I think that it provides the right competencies in order to ensure the long-term sustainability of this asset. He also involve the local communities. So I think that this project has also an important social benefits in terms of also job creations, I imagine. And another important aspect of this is also I believe the sense of ownership that is able to create in the local communities, so that the self-community then is willing to retain and to maintain this asset. And another important, I would say, aspect of this project is the fact that he responds to the electronic waste. The participant defined this issue as an emergent and urgent priority. And so the fact that all these equipments are collected, repaired, and then reused for a second time as a spare parts that at the same time are lacking in Africa, I think that it's absolutely fantastic. So this is a comment I have on this project. I don't have questions. As I said, it was very straightforward for me. I don't know if Carmelo wants to go on, and or maybe if you want me to comment other projects.
Thanks, Ellen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry. Just bring it down. So I thought it was very impressive as well. All the 6 presenters gave a very, very open picture, and the level of innovation was quite amazing. I thought there was a lot of display in terms of the powers and the ability of some of these youth in terms of being able to bring across solutions that obviously would help the markets themselves to develop, knowing also that they can also produce or secure job creation for their markets, and also find solutions for the incumbents in terms of being able to access solar or renewable energy solutions for the communities. I agree with you, I mean, as well, and it was very, very important from the Mwitwa perspective from Zambia on these on the level of being able to harness the recharge or the e-waste that is being produced by some of the solar systems. And in fact, I didn't know that the solar shelf life, it was so limited for some of these from 2 years to 5 years. It's actually very, very short. So to be able to utilize that and be able to rebuild that into the community is excellent. So I take the business model, and that probably is my question to Mitwa, if he can hear me, would be, is this now a model based on, the business model is based on the fact that some of these solar home systems companies would partner with you in order to be able to reutilize some of the storage, because we're obviously very keen to reduce the level of e-waste that is being produced across. And then I have questions also for the others, but maybe I'll just limit myself to Mitwa for the time being, since, well, and you mentioned the e-waste, which is very, very relevant. And also in terms of reducing the level of pollution, not only for agricultural farmers, but also to the extent that some of this plastic and e-waste also goes to rivers and then to oceans, and then polluting the oceans, and then being a hazard for marine life. So that is also something that we at the European Investment Bank are keenly looking at in terms of reducing or helping the blue economy and helping to ensure marine life also as part of the SDGs is keenly targeted. So let me just stop there for the time being and we can focus on Mito's proposal. I don't know if he can answer.
So maybe we can move to other projects, and then when Mitwa will be connected, then he can answer on this question. Yes. Do you have any other questions for the other participants? And thank you very much for being very critical and critically giving points to them. That's definitely great feedback that they need to take into consideration later.
So maybe, okay, Carmelo, if I can, I also appreciated a lot the Green Box project, so the solar-powered cold rooms. I think that it's very, I would say, interesting, because also these respond to, provides, I would say, the extension of the shelf life of harvest products, that something very important since he affects a lot the income of small farmers. I just would like to know, because I probably didn't get it, I don't know if the participant mentioned this aspect, how the maintenance of these cold rooms happen, including the maintenance of the electrical parts, photovoltaic panels and batteries. Probably you mentioned it, but I didn't get it. If you also thought in your model about caring of this aspect, that, as we saw from the previous project, is really relevant. We do not hear you.
We see you, but we don't hear you. Yeah.
So, thank you for your question. Jivan Kovatuka, founder of Green Box. So, our project is very sustainability. It is both of local material. So, we have our technology. We can do maintenance of battery. So, we have two models of Green Box. We have one model we use battery, and another one we use battery. We have to test what is the best in terms of autonomy, in terms of efficiency in our local language. So when you go to the off-grid location, they don't have electricity, but they have the sun. Our business solve three kinds of problems. So problem of post-harvest losses, and they can use our technology to have the night in the community. And then we use also our Green Box to provide them the technology to charge their battery. So our technology, we have integral and technology to maintenance of the battery in our technology. We have engineers to do maintenance every month to our technology. I don't know if I answer your question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ivan, I also had a question for you very, very quickly. I'm looking more at the financial viability of your model and the business case. Are you also looking, of course, one of the issues being that some of these smallholder farmers may not be able to afford. I know it seems like the daily fees for storage are very limited to us, but maybe to a smallholder farmers it makes a big difference. And I'm wondering if perhaps you're also looking at mobile money solutions also with some of the mobile money operators in terms of being able, somebody else may want to sponsor that smallholder farmer in being able to access cold storage solutions, so that they, you're not just relying on the payments or the affordability to the smallholder farmers, but you could have third parties also covering for the cold storage solution on behalf of the smallholder farmer.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is one advantage of competitor, our model business. We take also mobile phone payments that small house farmers don't have capacity to buy the cold room, but now they can use it as a service. Our business model, they pay what you store, a little bit of money, $0.5 to stock their perishable food. But that we have also the strategy, the payment strategy. We accept the mobile money phone money. So in the rural location, they don't have the bank, they don't have the system to pay. But now in Africa, we have a phone. With the basic phone, they can collect the money. We can collect the money and allows farmers to reduce their losses, increase the income, and they have the solution now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Suellen, did you have any other?
Yes, I don't know if we still have time. Maybe just...
we still have time, so if there are any questions for other projects, that would be possible.
Yes.
4 minutes.
Okay, yeah, but one question about the Smart Eco Highway project that for me was absolutely, it was even hard for me to get it because it's absolutely innovative. The fact to capture the mechanical energy from the vehicles, individual weights, plus the thermal energy from the heat stored by roadways. I just would like to ask the capacity in terms of electricity generation production of these devices.
Ivan, can you turn on the mic, please? We can finally see you now. We cannot hear you.
Okay, so great. Thank you, Jessalyn. And sorry about my video when I was presenting. And yeah, basically our theoretical energy output is almost 600 kilowatt hour based on several parameters such as the rates of at which the vehicles are flowing on the road pavement. So with a minimum traffic of 600 vehicles per hour on a 1 kilometer lane of a road pavement, we can assume theoretically, because we didn't yet test the project on field, we can assume theoretically that we can produce a 600 kilowatt hour of energy output.
Okay, but the capacity of the device?
In terms of power output?
This is, yes.
Okay, right now we are working to come out with a 15 watts power output prototype.
Oh, so 15.
Yes, so this is the base on which we are just focusing regarding our project. But there are several competitors who are working on providing some slabs with higher power outputs, but some of them are just focusing on one side technology, for example, just piezoelectricity, and they're just focusing on improving the piezoelectricity power output of their slab. But with our hybrid model, we are planning to come out with a 15 watt power output slab, basically, in order to test it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also had a very quick question for you. I mean, of course, we hear about smart highways. This is really super smart highways if it will develop into a full technology. I'm just wondering, have there any other pilots already been made very, very similar? Because obviously it's based on the fact that the highway can absorb the light and then create energy that it's obviously going to be very, very expensive at the beginning to sort of pilot this project. But do you already have pilots where you're taking your input from that elsewhere perhaps have already been developed, where you can use the information in order to develop your own project?
Not yet, partially not yet. We have just identified our, let's say, our pilot spaces into which we will install our Davis, but we have not yet implemented the Davis because we didn't yet finalize the construction of the Davis. So the Davis is under, let's say, modelization. So this is the reason why we apply for the program, because we are building the prototype and we just need some additional funds in order to finalize the construction, because we plan to produce 3 Davis. So 3 module prototypes, not just 1 module prototype, 3 module prototypes in order to test it. We already have testing equipment thanks to the International Institute Research Laboratory of Ouagadougou, 2IE Ouagadougou. So they provide us some several research and testing equipment. So we are just trying to work on building our physical prototypes in order to test them into the field.
Okay, thanks, Yvonne.
Okay,
Is there any question?
I don't have questions, Salma.
Okay, so can we go back to Muitwa if he's now able to see us and we can see him and hear him for his question? Okay, that's great. So I recall the question was about the business model and your partners and how it's handled. You can maybe give us more details about it? This sound is not very clear, Muitwa. No, still not. Can you try without the earphones?
Or try without the video, because sometimes it's the video which blocks the sound.
Yeah, true. It's very not clear.
Unfortunately. You cannot hear.
Muitwa. It's not clear. Okay. Okay, so do we wait for Muitwa to solve the problem, or we have other questions for one of the 3 other projects? Okay, he's back. No sound. Can you deactivate the video and leave only the sound? It's not working. And the business model question is actually the most important one, because in any project.
For the sustainability of the project.
Exactly.
I do have a similar question for Grace.
Okay.
If we can get her back on, or.
Okay, so we can collect Muitwa's answer on written, and then I can read it for you, dear jury. And now the question is for Grace. Okay, you go ahead.
Yes, Camilo.
Hi. Yes, hi, Grace. Again, I'm interested in the business model. You are saying there's quite a lot of demand for your run automation, your devices, right? I believe that if you're just relying on the energy output, on connection to energy equipment, it can be quite limited. I mean, have you thought, for example, connecting such devices also to other kind of equipment, such as, for instance, irrigation systems, where one can switch on or switch off water. For instance, farmers being able to switch on remotely the water and being able to provide this kind of irrigation systems. But I'm also thinking of other potential uses that you could develop for your instrument in terms of also perhaps working with agricultural farmers, again, in terms of the tractors being linked to your device, and a leasing company that's leasing the product to farmers may want to find out how much use of the tractor has been made, where is the tractor, and being able to track the equipment as and when required. So, I mean, I'm seeing the potential for your device to have a different kind of markets, not exclusively on power generation, but also irrigation and also other equipment that could be interested to be able to track down, and that would obviously help with your business model.
Sorry, I can't.
Did you hear the question? Grace, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Camilo.
Can you hear me now? Maybe it is a problem with the video. Can you hear me now?
You are clearly heard, Mr. Camilo. Just wait for Grace.
Camilo, I've lost you somehow.
I'm around. Can you hear me now? Or perhaps it is with my system. You're right. It could be my.
Salim, I'm not hearing Camilo at all. I don't know if it is the same problem inside.
I can see you and I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, now I can hear you. So would you please repeat the question for me?
Yeah, it was in relation to your business model. I mean, you obviously talked about the application in terms of energy generation to energy equipment, but I'm just wondering if you could extend it, the same application, to other devices or to other equipment, such as, for instance, irrigation pumps by farmers who may want to switch on or switch off water supply to the crops at a given time, being able to track the performance of those pumps. Secondly, also in terms of leasing companies that would lease out, for instance, equipment such as tractors, for example. They may want to track usage of those tractors. They may want to track the geo positions of those tractors in order to be able to know what the farmers are doing with those tractors that are being leased. That could potentially even enhance your business model and being able to give you access to further revenue generation streams.
Sure, that is really a good idea. Thank you, Camilo, for your question. Actually, our device is customized to any energy consuming device. Like, we can connect it to solar water pumps. We can connect it to refrigeration and connect sensors that can measure temperature. Even if it is for tractors, we can get the parameters that are necessary for the people to track those trucks, and we can also customize it to those trucks. So that is the uniqueness of our device. So any appliance can be customized, be it milling machines, also, we know it milling machines, you need to measure the production. So we need to, we connect sensors that can measure the production of if it is cold chains, we need to know that we need to measure the temperatures of the cold room. So it is customized to any application. And right now, for the prototypes, we are looking at we have designed prototypes on refrigeration and television for business, but we are looking at developing other prototypes for other appliances and activities that use productive use. I think that for the idea of farmers and also leasing is also a very good one, and we are looking into that. We'll look into that. Thank you.
Thank you. Great answer. Yeah. I would like to thank Ms. Swellen and Mr. Carmelo for their really valuable feedback, and I invite all the participants to take all this feedback into consideration, because that's what builds a great project. From experts, feedback and experts' questions, we can really advance. I would like to thank Rest for Africa and Nel Green Power and European Investment Bank for this amazing event, and also for allowing me to moderate. It's been a pleasure, and it's really great. So now, happily, without further ado, I give the floor to Mr. Salvador Bernabe for his final closing word. Thank you.
Thank you, Salma. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. Very pleased to be here with you. And each time that I participate to this event about the Young Talent of the Year Award or the Microgrid Academy, I'm very, very happy, because at the end, this is a hope. The works that you are doing is a hope for us. Also a hope that gives us power, energy to go on in our daily work. You have to be sure that for us, what you are doing is the demonstration that also our work is meaningful in trying to create an environment where the things could happen, and a brighter future is possible also in Africa. So thank you very much for the finalists of the Young Talent of the Year, but also award, but also thanks to Rest for Africa and to all the team for making this possible. I would like to highlight once more how important for us is to involve the younger generation in the design and the making of the world of the future, of the energy system of the future of Africa. Our effort is so important that starting from this year, we decided also to add new activities, new initiatives to our portfolio of initiatives, let's say that way. From one end, I would like to remember that last year we had this event in Milan, and we launched the Youth Task Force that is already active and working with initiatives, with proposals, and is fueled by the energy and the passion of the younger generation. Moreover, we have also involved two young representatives in the advisory board of Rest for Africa. That is a board that whose mission is to advise the foundation about the initiatives to be done for this better future for Africa. And last but not least, we are also close to launch a youth fund that would help to finance initiatives like this one, but others also that will be launched in the following month. By the way, we are also restructuring our programs like the Microgrid Academy and investing more, scaling up whatever educational, vocational courses that give the possibility to people to participate as protagonists. That's why, starting from this year, we also decided to open the participation to the Young Talent of the Year Award to people who were not participating to the Microgrid Academy. So we are extending the possibility to participate, because our aim also is to eliminate barriers for people who have smart ideas to play their role in the construction of the future of Africa. So I'm very excited to recap shortly these initiatives, to give us also, as you are giving hope to us, because you are telling us, thanks to your program Rest for Africa, you are making possible a better future for Africa. I want also to give this hope to you, to all the ones who are already participating to this award, but that would participate perhaps starting from next year's, that we are strengthening our effort to make possible that these initiatives will be scaled up. So thank you very much for contributing to a brighter future, to the reach of the objective sustainable development goals of Africa, working to give access to electricity. Access to electricity is fundamental. You have described very well how the life of people is changing, how it's improving, what are the benefits of your ideas for the people. So access to electricity is fundamental for improving the quality of life, for giving hope to the people of Africa. And I also like very much this context where we exchange ideas among each other, where we listen to each other in this context, because remember that when you exchange two good ideas, you end up with 3 of them. So there is a multiplier effect here in interacting together. And we want this environment to grow more, to have a bigger push for the reaching of our mission. So thank you very much for your involvement, for your engagement, for your passion, and for the hope that we share for a better future for Africa. So I really would like to wish to the finalists good luck for the future, and I invite you to continue that way. And also thanks to the Rest for African team, to the European Bank, and to all the supporters of these initiatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salvatore. I don't know if just to say thank you to you, I told them already, Salvatore, that in addition to the prize the 3 of them will get, we will give attention to all 6 of them through our social network, to our newsletter, and bringing the 6th case study plus the old one to Sharm el-Sheikh in the side event on youth skill we are planning with Irina, with the Recre, and with the ministry. So in a way, only 3 of them will get the full prize, but all 6 of them will be known thanks to our very vast network. And also, finally, some of them will be also allowed to participate online to our training course if they wish, because of not only dedicated to small business, but also dedicated to a larger vision. So if some of them wants to attend our training course or some lesson of the training course, they will have a fast track. So thanks to your vision, thanks to Carmelo and the bank, I consider this is an added value. And again, it's not just, as one may say, oh, youth per se. No, it's youth innovative, youth startup, youth addressing the leapfrog from the situation. So grazie ancora Salvatore, and I confirm that as a Secretary General, the Rest for Africa will pay a lot of attention to what you're doing. I think now the floor is back to Marta, right, to close? Or maybe we close, just, I don't know.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Bigotti, Mr. Salvatore Bernabei, and partners, European Investment Bank, Carmelo Cucuzza, and Suelen Quadri from Money Green Power. Thank you to all the youth that took part in this competition today, taking the opportunity of this challenge, presenting their project idea. I think it's time to close. I also would like to thank for sure Salma from the SDG number 7 Youth Constituency. It's a pleasure to partner with you. And I wish you all a good day and good continuation. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.